Thank you for tuning into the Model Connection podcast. I am your host, Eric Harrell. Please like, follow, and subscribe on social media and everywhere you get your podcast. Links are in the description. With us today is a very special guest.
Hi guys, my name is Kelsey Derringer. I am a professional model out of Nashville, Tennessee. Been published in 5 international magazines, as well as earning the title of National Elite Miss Tennessee 2021, as well as National Cover Model. In addition to that, I was just in a music video released by Eric Burgett in the song Barn Hopping, and I'm so excited to be joining Eric Harrell on the Model Connection podcast tonight.
Kelsey Derringer, welcome to the Model Connection. It is such a joy to have you here.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
You've got so much going on in your life. I really don't know where to start. So, let's start with your pageant life. Now, the first question I'm going to ask you is, I remember growing up, Mom, Dad, and I would always watch the Miss USA pageant, the Miss America pageant. How come they have gotten so many pageants out there? I mean, what makes one pageant totally different from another?
So honestly, what's going to make it very different is going to be their values. So I've competed in the USA system, which is honestly the Super Bowl of all systems. By mistake, first pageant.
Yes.
Didn't know what I was doing, walked into the Super Bowl. However, they all have different values and what they want. So there's service ones. There's ones that are just for philanthropy, ones that are just for nonprofits. USA is more about, honestly, glitz, glamour, modeling, international modeling, moving on to the bigger world.
I did not know that. Thank you very much for telling me that. So now, how did you get your start doing pageants?
So it's actually a funny story. Most people here in Nashville will know about the Nashville Girls Group. You would not, because you can't get accepted.
But Thank you for that.
Nashville Girls Group, there's about 10,000 of us girls in Nashville. We post different things, businesses, deals that we have for our businesses, suggestions on where to go for, I don't know, a nails done, a spray tan.
Okay.
So I posted about a spray tan, and this woman was like, I'll give you 50% off if you mention Nashville Girls Group. So she comes to my home. She gives me a spray tan in the middle. She was like, have you ever done a beauty pageant? And I was like Miss Congeniality? And she was like, I mean, similar, but like, no. She's like, you should really think about it. And I was like, okay. A few weeks later, I Googled Miss Tennessee. Well, the first one that comes up, of course, ended up being the USA division. So I signed up 3 months before. It was probably July. Heard in December that I had got accepted of one of the 40 girls. And I was like, what the heck am I going to do in a beauty pageant? I've never done this before. Didn't even know how to walk in heels. Hired a coach, got into it, and showed up to Tunica, Mississippi for Miss Tennessee USA. And it was like the Super Bowl. Wow. I was starstruck, and I did the thing, and it was very much a lot of fun.
Okay. So that was your first really experience as a pageant girl, correct?
The only experience.
The
only experience, like my very first one, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I did do one after that.
Had the normal butterflies the day before, or just, oh yeah, I got this.
I was a competitive cheerleader for one of the best cheer teams, and actually the best cheer team in the world in Louisville, Kentucky. So I'm used to performing. So being on stage, backstage, of course, I was a little bit, what if I trip? Second I walked out, it was like I was floating on air, back in my normal habitat that I was in for 18 years of my life. So it ended up being great, and I didn't win that title, but then I won Most Photogenic, which I was in the parking lot, I'm not going to lie, crying because I didn't win. And then I get text messages from my different mentors, Kelsey, where are you? You just won Most Photogenic. And I was like, me? There's 40 beautiful women here. And I didn't end up going on the stage to accept the award because I didn't know. But I still got it. And it kind of gave me the confidence to, where can I go from here?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so why didn't you proceed, or why didn't you pursue more pageants, or did you?
I ended up doing one other pageant after. It was called National Elite Miss Tennessee.
Okay.
It was less than 1 month later. I'd already had all my runway training from our current Mrs. United States of America, LaShawn Dixon. She's amazing, and she taught me everything I needed to know about being on stage, runway walking. I didn't know there's 4 different kinds of walks.
I didn't either.
Well, there is, and it was difficult to learn. I have a lot of respect for runway models after that. But I did National Elite Miss Tennessee and ended up winning that one and went on to nationals.
Okay, the 4 different, types of walks, what are they?
Well, there's a catwalk. There's gonna be and that's gonna be more swimsuit. Then there's like an opening number walk, and that's gonna be more, waving, introducing yourself. Then there's an evening gown walk, and then there's your winning walk.
Your winning walk,
Your
huh?
winning walk, yeah, after you've been crowned, and that's gonna be the more emotional one, but you still have to be graceful. But
Everything is actually choreographed, huh?
everything is
Eh,
choreographed. Ask my feet, 15 hours in the same heels. We all ended up with socks on by the end of it, and it was hilarious. But the USA choreographer, Kent, he is a fireball, and he's not going to let you stop till it's perfect. But he put on a great production.
Wow. Okay, now, in doing pageants, what did it teach you about yourself that you may not have already known?
Honestly, the biggest thing it taught me is I wasn't competing against anybody but myself. Because at the end of the day, there's 40 girls, one person is getting that crown. I have better odds at Russian roulette at the casino, you know?
Mhm.
So, really, I was in competition with myself. If you go in there comparing yourself to everyone else, you're not going to win. I mean, I didn't win at the end of the day, the USA system, but that taught me for the next pageant to go out there and be yourself, answer authentically, and don't even look at the other girls and compare. Oh, she has blonde hair, or her hair's longer. Oh my gosh, look at her body. I went in there was like, I'm going to go on stage. I'm going to show them who I am and smile, do my all my training that I had, and with the onstage answer, do that authentically and don't do what you think people want to hear. Because usually what you think they want to hear, they've heard it before. Say something unique. And that's what I did for my pageant that I did end up getting the title for.
Did your pageant experience lead you into modeling, or was modeling something that you wanted to do since you were a little girl?
Um, well, I grew up as a very heavy little girl, so I never thought I could model. So it wasn't something I wanted to do. But if you look back at old pictures, I'm always posing. I have some hilarious side by sides right now where I'm 8 years old doing the same poses I'm doing now as a professional model. So I think that somewhere deep inside, I like the spotlight. I like to be pretty. I like to, dress up, put on my makeup, put on evening gowns, do whatever. But I don't know. I don't think it's something I always wanted to do. I think once I won that award for most photogenic at a pageant that was just so far out of my reach that I was even there, really just shot up my confidence. And I wanted to see what I could do with that.
Okay, so that's what lit your fire to really pursue modeling?
Yes, definitely that award because you should see these women. I remember looking around the dressing room and I was like, wow, why am I here? And
'Cause
then
you are here, or should I say you are there because you are just as good as they are, okay?
figured that out eventually. When I showed up, I was like, why? Why am I here? And it was a long 5 days, but I mean, in the end, it was worth it. One of my really good friends ended up winning the title and she did great. But I also live with one of the girls that I competed with. I'll be in a wedding with another girl. I'm her maid of honor in a wedding. So it's honestly like the friendships, the connections. I connected with people that I never even dreamed of, like LaShawn Dixon,
Mhm.
who's, Mrs. United States of America now at this point. So it was a really good networking opportunity for me that I didn't know was going to be. So it just surprised me in a bunch of different ways.
Tell me about your role as the 2021 it, I got I don't know, it's here somewhere if I've lost them. The 2021 Ms. Tennessee. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
So now, is that part of that elite pageant network, or is it totally different?
So that is National Elite Miss.
Okay.
So
Yes. Yes.
with that, that was a completely different experience because they really are focused more on service and community service, serving your community, which is more up my ball game. Or at
Okay.
least it was
Yes.
until, the last year of things taking off.
Right.
But I
Yes.
really liked their value system after looking at their website, the national directors, the state directors, they were just great. And, they prepared us for everything. I was already prepared from competing in the USA system, but they prepared me more and just, got me on that stage, gave me the confidence to end up winning the title. And I mean, as a state facilitator, national director, like that's your job. And I actually just took on a job doing that now because
Wow.
I wanted to be that person who gave confidence to other women and little girls too.
Proud for you. Okay. So moving right along from pageants to modeling, what was your first modeling assignment like?
So, what I will tell you is you're not going to get paid right off the bat for modeling. So, my very first shoot was actually so back in the day, I didn't get senior pictures made for my mom. So I hired somebody for $100 and we did a 3-hour photo shoot and recreated these different pictures from high school for my mom. They ended up being good. They got into magazines. And this photographer now, he's only 20 years old. He lives in New York City working for a major agency. He's great, sings Peyton Dollar. And that photo shoot, I remember him showing me the camera because I was so self-conscious in
Mm-hmm.
front of it. Never really been in front of one like that before. He just showed it to me. Second he showed me his camera, I was like, "That's me?" He was like, "That's you." I got back up on that Camaro and I was modeling the heck out of that. I was doing everything that I could. I was like, "I'm pretty." I was like, "Look at that." I was like, I am pretty photogenic. I didn't know it. I never, I've taken selfies with my iPhone before, but I've never
Yes.
had a professional camera that edits the lighting and they have I don't even know how they work still to this day. I'm still confused, but I haven't had to edit a photo since. So filters are gone. That's great.
So you decided to jump from pageants into modeling. Were you the least bit scared?
Still scared.
Just
I'm still scared. I'm still pretty new, but I mean, it's going well. And, but it is, at the end of the day, it's still sales. You're selling yourself to different photographers of why they should work with you to keep up with your body, your face, your hair, your nails. You can't just show up and be unprofessional and not be prepared. So
Right,
that's one
right.
thing I like about it is that they prep you for things. And I like to be organized to the T. So,
Of course.
still
We all do,
scared.
yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, ever since I got signed with the major agency, it's kind of let me breathe a little bit because now I have a manager who handles any kind of money, any kind of bookings for me. I'll still do trade for prints around Nashville just for the practice.
Mhm,
I'm not going to show up to an agency photo shoot where they're paying, top dollar for the models to be there, and I haven't done a shoot in 3 months.
mhm.
So I dabble around, have some fun, practice.
With you being signed with an agency, does it confine you to certain areas o of modeling, or are you free to dabble in whatever you want to?
I can do whatever I want to. Freelance, they don't mind. I was hired by, I mean, I've done weird types of modeling. One of my,
Weird as in what?
well, the weirdest one I did was there's this, it's actually the number one dating coach in the country. His name's Matt Artisan. You can look him up on Instagram. He came to Nashville and he was looking for a model to stand in the corner, not say one thing. And these men would pay money to learn from him how to approach women. I got paid $300 a day to do that. And I didn't get to speak. And I wanted to speak so bad and be like, please don't do that. Please don't come up and tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, how you doing? Like there's better ways to do it. But my job was to stand in the corner and just let them come up and take their best shot at it. And that was a modeling gig, and they
Yes,
paid
it was.
cash. It
Yeah.
was very random. And then I did obviously during the holidays, people do different theme shoots. I had a lot of fun doing Christmas shoots, and boutiques are my favorite, honestly, to work with.
A- I was going to ask you, what is the or what are the areas of 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 our industry of modeling that is you?
To be quite honest with you, if I wasn't so short, I would be the best runway model out there. Giselle Brady would need to watch out because I love the stage. I love walking, but I'm short.
Who says you cannot do it locally?
I'm doing some local things, but they're usually you have to be 5'7". So I will be at Atlanta's bridal and prom show, but I had to sneak my way in there, being 5'3". But I sent pictures of my walk, or not
Okay.
pictures, videos of my walk, and platforms where I can get up to 5'9",
Right.
be good enough. And I was told them I was like, prom dresses. These girls are in high school. They're not going to be 6'2". So they're coming out with the curve line, petite lines, different stuff like that. So there's even a Miss Petite USA in pageantry now. So got myself back into runway. So in August, I get to go down to a show and
That's why you don't
finally
have
do
to always be
runway.
5'7", okay?
Until now.
Until now.
Until now. Thank you, 2022, for that. Thank goodness.
So, all of the areas of modeling, are you most comfortable doing runway model?
I am just because there's an audience. That sounds
Okay.
bad. It's kind of
No, it's not.
it's your time on stage, and people can look cocky out there, but I've heard from many people who have watched me on TV and pageants that I just look like I'm just confident. I look sweet. Like there's different, I mean, you train. There's different faces that you make. You sit there and there'll be girls with their pursed lips walking around. That doesn't look good on stage. You want a big smile and to kind of interact with the audience, even just with your eyes. And that's something you learn in runway training. It's how to interact without interacting.
Is it as hectic backstage as TV shows lit on like it is?
It's more hectic. It's
More
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 hectic. I'd look up and there's a butt in my face because there's minimal room, but you have 40 girls in a room that have to change and run. I remember getting off stage, walking off, and then I am sprinting in this evening gown, finding someone, unzip me, changing in the swimsuit, getting in the lineup, 5 girls ahead, it's time to go back on. So, if anything, I think it's more hectic. So, Miss Congeniality, they did a very good portrayal of a pageant.
Yeah.
Not so much the questions and the answers, but the backstage life and even during the pageant and everything with choreography. Very accurate, to be quite honest.
Okay, what is your most memorable experience doing that?
Ugh, I don't know. Not eating for 15 hours and we're sitting here a bunch of beauty queens starving. I think that's my most memorable. I just needed something to eat and they were like, "You don't have any time." And I was like, "Okay, well, get me some wine." And they did get me wine. That was a thing.
Wine.
Hey, if you're of age, they don't care. It was the teen girls. It was at a casino,
Yeah,
you
of
know?
course.
Because I remember asking the national
Wine was
director,
a filler upper.
hey, as long as they'll let me. Answer's always no unless you ask. Number
Right.
one thing in the world. Answer is always no unless you ask. So if I ask and they say yes, don't mind me if I do what you said it yes to.
Are you representing any brand right now?
Um, Brand, not
Yes.
specifically, not representing. I mean, with PMTM, that's Pro Model Talent Management.
Okay.
They also own IMTA, which
Okay.
is International Model Talent Agency. They do big galas. I think it's twice a year. Just missed one for a bachelorette party that was in LA. But they represent me and they work with hundreds of brands. Just did a photo shoot up in Louisville on Sunday, last Sunday. And that was a fitness shoot. Trying to get in. They want me to get in with like sporting goods, Under Armour, different things. But you have to be an approved fitness model. So there's people who They want to do fitness. They're skinny, they look good, but that doesn't mean you're a fitness model. You need to have, like, I go to the gym every day and I weight lift. So that's the real definition of a fitness model. Because, I mean, there's all kinds of skinny girls out there, but you need the muscle to be in those
Right.
ads and commercials.
Are you concerned or are you cautious that if you accept a modeling assignment for B company, that it will somehow affect um, your image with A company? Do you have to be cautious and careful regarding what assignments you choose?
I would say yes, because there are, they have implied nudity shoots, stuff like that, which that is age appropriate for me since I'm 27, but I work with children.
Okay.
So that's not appropriate for
Okay.
me. So, I mean, people reach out daily about implied nudity shoots, and that's just one thing I won't cross that line.
Okay. Do you choose what shoot you do, or do you leave that up to your manager?
So they send out, so say that Dick's Sporting Goods calls in, they need a 5'3" brunette model with blue eyes.
Okay.
It's not just me. There's probably 28 of us, if not more. That was just a ballpark number. I don't know how many models they have signed with them, but they will send all of them out and they narrow it down.
Okay.
I don't have to take a gig,
Okay.
but when they tell you $3,000 for the day, you're probably going to take it, honestly.
You would, and that leads back to the other question. Are you sure that you doing that shoot for Dick's Sporting Goods would not tarnish your image with your a previous company, your previous brand? You don't want. I, gu- I guess what I'm saying is you don't want one image to tarnish your image with another company, correct?
That is correct, actually, because I would say, like, let's say that I did Under Armour.
Hmm.
I'm not going to get hired by Nike. They're not going to use the same model.
Right.
So if I'm dead set on I want to work with Nike one day or
Yes.
Adidas one day, I'm not going to take the job with Under Armour
Right.
because they're
Right.
not going to use the same model because they're all in the same Academy Sports, Dick's Sporting Goods, websites. They're not going to have the same face. So, I mean, Under Armour is a pretty big brand.
Yes,
Not
they
my
are.
first choice, but I'd work with them. I'm not gonna lie. If they called me today and they told me, "Hey, Kelsey, we got you a gig with them," I would take that booking. Although I prefer Nike and Adidas, they are a little bit bigger. So
Right. Also, as they say, you pay me enough, I'll do it. Okay.
yeah, we got to pay the bills.
Exactly
I need
right.
to live and I need to eat.
Exactly right. Um, has I'm gonna back up a little bit. Um, are 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 corporates that hire models, are they generally looking for, and this is gonna be your opinion only,
Okay.
are they looking for the girl next door look, or do they want the proven model look?
It really, really depends. So Lily
Yeah,
Pulitzer, they were
yes.
specifically looking for girls from Nashville, and
Okay.
my friend who she's an associate manager there, she got to pick. So, she of course reached out to me. We did the music video together. Wanted to do that with my best friend. They were looking for another model, and she doesn't necessarily do that full time, but she's pretty and she's cute and she can dance, and I brought her in with me. It's just more fun to do it with your best friend. So we're doing Lily Pulitzer. And for me, that's going to be big. That's a big brand to work with, to have in my media kit. I have different, I don't know, I probably have, over 40 brands in my media kit, but Lily Pulitzer, I mean, that's a big brand.
Mhm.
Not everyone loves it, but they're expensive. So enough people love it for them to be able to hike up their prices. So really excited for that. But then there's going to be companies, honestly, if they're advertising on Instagram, they want a professional model with a lot of followers. That's what they're looking for. They're not going to, you can be the girl next door with 1,000 followers and be the most beautiful one, but they're looking for something to help shoot that out there, their own brand. So it really, really depends. I think that people would prefer to work with someone who is signed by an agency because they don't have to deal with me directly. They have to deal with an agent or a manager who's been doing it for 20, 30 years. So they know exactly how to negotiate. I don't know how to do that.
How do you feel about the age of social media?
I love social media. I wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for social media.
Talk to me. How?
So, honestly, the last 2 years of my life, I was a social media and marketing director for Boom Balls Craft Pizza and Tap House. I loved it. I mean, our sales in Murfreesboro went through the roof when I started. So, I actually secretly started doing that
Okay.
at one location to show the owner that social media is important. It's free marketing these days. So I'll be quite honest, like the older that you are, you don't really get it because you all didn't grow up with social media.
Oh, she's got me down to a T.
I'm just speaking the truth
Hey, yeah,
because
you are.
like I
Yeah.
grew up with it. I had, the first generation iPhone in 8th grade and I was like, "What is this?" But that's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
Even though I'm 27, I'm still a millennial, but honestly, I think the millennials have it a little bit different than what is it, Gen
A
Z they're
Gen
calling?
X.
Whatever they're calling the younger crowd these days.
I have no idea
I don't know
anymore.
which it's Z or X, Gen
Z or X.
something, generation something, but millennials is like I remember pagers. I remember dial-up
Yeah.
internet, but then
Right.
I also remember whenever I was the age where I was growing up into a woman, social media and that building up. Instagram wasn't a thing. It was MySpace, then it was Facebook, then all of a sudden Instagram happens. And at first, that was just something fun to post pictures on until it turned into a business. Because if we're being honest, everything is a business, including Instagram. And they pay people. And that's what a lot of people don't know is that Instagram has a whole monetizing system. The reason I was in the music video, they found me on Instagram. The reason that I'm in different magazines on Instagram. Uh, Honestly, the reason that I am a state or a regional facilitator for Miss Cheerleader America is from social media, reaching out, seeing them, seeing posts, and I've had different photographers reach out for branded shoots, boutique shoots, and it's all Instagram. So there will be people who will say, "Oh, you're just an Instagram model." I'm like, "So why am I on their website?" Instagram is a way to reach out to people without phone numbers or a phone book. That's what I always tell my dad. I'm like, they don't have to pull out a phone book anymore and look for my name. They can find me on Instagram. Oh, I really like her content. Let me message her and see if she'd like to work with me on this concept that I'm thinking. So, yes or no. I ask a lot of questions because you have to be careful as a woman a lot of the time.
True.
Um, Especially, I mean, I usually bring somebody with me to most of my shoots, which for one, to help me with my hair, but also to make sure I don't get stolen because you never know. With
Of
agencies,
course. Yes.
they make sure the safety, but freelance, you have to do that yourself.
Hmm.
So, but social media, without that, I think it would make it a lot more difficult to make it to where you want to be. And I will tell you one thing that honestly, my family, when they hear that, they're gonna be like, Kelsey, will you stop saying this? Elon Musk, my favorite quote that he has is he did not major in college in aerospace engineering, but he read a lot of books and met a lot of important people by networking, and now look at him. So you don't have to I didn't major in modeling. I didn't even major in marketing, but I was a marketing director and I did a great job at it and now moved on to modeling and I'm great at networking and meeting people and I read articles and I continue my training. So, honestly, I think social media is helping people who wish they could model. It shows you how you can, and you can market yourself rather than trying to get people to market for you by paying for billboards or, hey, this restaurant, I'll pay you to be in your bathroom stall.
Hmm.
I get to do it myself for free on Instagram and then connect with people organically to make this happen. So I love it. Social media, Instagram is my personal favorite, but I mean, more and more things are coming out that are going to continue to help.
And I hope one of those things that will continue to help is this Mall Connection podcast, okay?
Hey, we're working on it and I'm loving being here.
Thank you. I mean, I am thoroughly enjoying being across from you, talking with you. I mean, you are just a delight to be with. Um, Tell me about this music video now. You said Instagram played a part in you landing that role. How did it actually come about now?
So Eric Burgett is the artist and he has an amazing wife named Amy Burgett. And they were doing a little model call, or not even a model call, it was for dancing, for line dancing specifically. And I mean, we're in Murfreesboro. Whiskey Dix is right down the road. For
Okay.
my national pageant, I actually went to Whiskey Dix every weekend for their free line dancing lessons.
Okay.
So I messaged her after she made her post. We're looking for this, this, that, that. I was like, hey, I know how to line dance. Check out my page. That's all I said. I didn't write a whole paragraph. Just check out my page, and I know how to line dance. So I'd already marketed myself, put pictures, professional pictures, pictures with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
selfies. I do reels, videos, stuff like that. Because honestly, videos, it's more animated. You can see what people really look like and how
Mm-hmm.
their facial expressions
Mm-hmm.
are. So right away, she's like, okay, this is going to be the date. This is what it is. I was like, well, I've never done a music video before. I thought it was honestly going to be very small and low key until it wasn't. So I showed up and there was a whole production crew. Miller Lite was the sponsor. I was a little nervous, so I had a little bit too many Miller Lights, but you can see that in the music video. We all have them in our hand. It was also in January.
It's a country music song. Everybody got to have some kind of an alcoholic beverage in your hand, right?
You do, or you're not in the video very much.
Or very long, okay?
Exactly. We had an underage girl. She's beautiful, so she's in the end of it when we're not drinking.
Yeah.
But the whole video we are, and we're doing the fun little TikTok dance. So honestly, me and my friend that I pulled into the music video with me, which I didn't think that was going to happen, but I just kept thinking the answer's always no unless you ask. So I reached out to Amy 2 days before the music video. COVID outbreak had happened in January, and I
Okay.
was like, I'm not really sure if you all need another model and dancer. It's like my roommate has a background in it. And she was like, actually, a girl just canceled. So it was me, my best friend Paisley, who cheered and danced her whole life, a Titans cheerleader, and then actually, funny story, the other girl competed with me and Paisley in Miss Tennessee USA. So 3 of us competed together, and one was a Titans cheerleader, so that was a given that she was amazing. Her name's
Yes.
Brandy, and
Yes.
she's awesome in it. But I was not expecting my face to be in the music video so much. Wasn't expecting the dancing, but Eric, he really was great with his dancers and actually invited us to perform with him at the Omni, which got to meet Kane Brown, got to see Dave Ramsey, got to see people that I thought it was going to be like a dive bar and there was going to be 10 people in the audience, which was my family. I show up 2 hours early. There's not a seat in the house. I had to start diving at tables when a chair would open so that my family would have seating. And Miller Lite's there. They were like, hey, we need you for a quick photograph. We walked behind the stage. It's a whole setup, and we did a photo shoot with Eric Brigette and me and Paisley with Miller Lite. And it was just a great time, but it was nothing that I was expecting. So, I mean, sometimes there's roles that you're skeptical about. Like
Mm-hmm.
this music video, I was like, you know what? Even if it's just some little small indie music video, sounds like fun. Didn't end up being that, and that has helped a lot as well. I mean, that released a week ago.
I think so,
Yeah,
yes.
about a week ago.
Yes.
And then my inbox is full of photographers right now. They want to work with me, and I'm so excited to work with them around Nashville. It's going to be fun. Just because, like I told you, whenever you see someone on video, you can see their animation, the different faces they can make, what
Hence
you can
this
turn it
podcast.
into.
Hence this podcast, okay?
Yeah. I mean,
Same way.
this is what I look like from all different angles, everybody. A lot different than a still print picture.
Exactly. I mean, in doing this, you are showing everyone your personality. In a print photograph, can you?
So I will tell you, no. So with PMTM, I originally was signing with them just for modeling, and then I got pulled out by one of their booking agents, and they let me know that my personality was too big for a photograph, and they wanted me to go into intensive acting training with them. It was an LA based and New York based, 2 different coaches, did it for 9 weeks, and now I'm getting shot out. That'll start on May 1st. I'll start getting shot out to different commercials. I don't necessarily have to speak, which in the acting training I had to speak, and it was hilarious. Like I was doing a Geico commercial, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And they're like, now I want you to be angry. I was like, how can I be angry selling car insurance? They're like, now be sad. now be this. But it was really cool just to see. I don't know. I was with 40 people in this acting class, and we really got out of our shells, and it helped a lot. But honestly, in the future, I'm expecting more bookings with commercials, sitcoms, different things like that than modeling because my personality, I can't shut up and I won't shut up. People have tried to stop me. It doesn't happen. I got Cheeseburger over there. He's tried to get me to shut up. It just doesn't happen. It's my personality. I like to talk. I like to connect with people, hence the networking.
Okay, so that's where you hope your modeling will take you to, right?
That's
Or
a hard
wrong, or wrong
question.
now.
I said no at first, but then whenever they would show me commercials, I was like, I mean, if that's the door that's open and the other one's closing, I'm kicking that door open and I'm going to it. So I'm going to try it out. And if I hate it, you don't have to continue.
Right.
So, but I think I'm going to love it. I mean, I like camera crews around me.
If who wouldn't? Okay, I mean, who would not like being pampered, shall we say?
Yeah.
Okay. If it doesn't work out, you can always fall back on your modeling. Okay.
Can also fall back on my Arabic. That's my safety
Exactly.
net.
Yes. Yes, you can. So now, again, as I asked you with your pageants, I'll ask this about your modeling. What has your modeling taught you about yourself?
That I need to not be self conscious. Every photographer, still from Sunday, my last shoot, every single one, they'll snap a picture and I will always say, "Can I see this first?" Just to make sure. And every single time I go, "Okay, we're good." And then it just boosts my confidence. And I mean, honestly, it just taught me to not be self conscious and never compare yourself to others because they're comparing themselves to everyone around them. So now I'm that girl I used to be the girl who walked into a room, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm analyzing every girl
Mhm.
and how we differ. Now the first thing I see is where's the bar?
Where's the bar?
I don't see anybody else. I see where's the bar. I don't remember the last time I compared myself to a girl in the last year, except for to compliment them. I'm like, where'd you get your skirt? Like, I want to know. So I think that it's just been like a confidence booster. And then not only just like confidence of being pretty, but also the people who will comment and support you with it. And like, you
Mhm.
don't expect the support,
Yeah.
especially with you know, honestly, when people ask me what my job is, I don't like to say modeling. I start with marketing and then I lead into,
Marketing, you're marketing yourself, though.
yeah, it still works. It still
Okay.
works with
Yeah.
modeling. I mean, modeling is marketing
Yeah.
for other companies and yourself.
Okay.
But I start out with that because I feel embarrassed to say that. But then you're getting paid for it, so then it's real. And it still hasn't really clicked with me that it's real yet. It's starting to with this podcast,
Hey, hey, hey. All
and with
right.
the photographs and everything. So, but I think that's the number one lesson is don't compare yourself to others. I mean, everyone's self conscious about something.
Mhm.
Just take that insecurity and tuck it away, or just don't have them. And honestly, I kind of got rid of all of them just from my support system. I didn't think people that I went to high school with, 10 years ago that live in a completely different state were going to
Yes.
be, my number one fan.
Mhm.
I honestly didn't think that my roommate, who she's a badass real estate agent, excuse my French, I'm so sorry, an amazing real estate agent, would be so supportive, getting me jobs that she heard from the side of the road,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Lily Pulitzer.
Yeah.
Pulled me in on that. Got really nervous that no one would want to date me because, there's a stigma behind models and what they'll do for different things. But I mean, I found someone who proved that wrong and supports me through all
Mhm.
that. So
Fantastic.
it teaches you a lot about life,
Yes.
especially growing up doing it.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for tuning in to the Model Connection podcast. Please like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Okay, Kelsey, you were gracious enough to bring some photographs with you. So, if you will, we are going to have them up on the monitor. And for the people that are watching on YouTube and those that are listening wherever they get the podcast, if you will be so gracious as to describe what we are looking at.
Okay, so this was at the Parthenon, actually Centennial Park. The Parthenon's directly in front of me. This was with a photographer named Sam Bernal, and I used him. Actually, what I'm holding in my hand is my centerpiece on my table right now at home. I thought it would be a good prop, and I was right. So I just really wanted to do kind of like a vintage evening gown look. Reached out on the Nashville models page to see if anyone would be interested in working with me to do that. He reached out and sent me a picture that he had took in front of Centennial and of a girl in a parachute gown. And I was like, I would love to work with you. So honestly, he had the vision. I always let the photographers have the vision. They're the creative eye. And then I pose, I ask them, hey, what do you want me to do? They want you to just keep moving. Their camera clicks 100
Right.
photos a minute, which I didn't know. I thought it was more like an iPhone, like, okay, 1, 2, 3, cheese. It's not like that. So this was actually in the middle of movement, and it ended up capturing a picture that I cannot wait to keep with me forever. I love it. The gown's not something I would wear, walking down the street, but I thought it was very appropriate for a high fashion modeling photo.
Yes, it's a beautiful image.
Thank you.
And this one?
That one is the same photographer, and that is I actually picked purple. That's my mom's favorite color, and she has 4 daughters, some grandkids too. She has 4 daughters, and I thought that she would really like it. And actually, the photographer was like, "Why don't you smell those flowers?" And I was like, "Okay, I can smell some flowers." I was kind of just smiling at them, to be quite honest with you, but it ended up turning out great. I didn't know that. Honestly, it's those professional cameras. He's sitting there, he's like, let me fix my settings. I was like, don't you just snap it? He was like, no, he's playing with it the whole
Yeah, you got to play
time.
with the whole
And
time. Yes, yes.
it's incredible. Whenever I saw these, he sent them to me. I was like, if you want to send some sneak peeks, because I don't know if I can wait a whole week for these photos. And those are 2 of the sneak peeks that he sent. And still looking at them, I can't believe it's me. Like, that's not what I see when I look in the mirror.
And you think your job is hard. We're always looking at the camera, looking at settings. Okay, is this right? Is that right? Where's the light coming from? Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, I have a camera and I don't even know how to, if I press settings, I'm like, wait, how do I go back? I don't want to play with it.
Okay, now what are we looking at
Ooh,
here?
so this was my first studio shoot with Peyton Dollar. That's the 20-year-old I told you about.
Okay.
He is incredible. And I had a vision that I wanted to do just a little bit more of my age, because people were associating me as honestly 21 years old. So I wanted a little bit off the shoulder, like a little bit more skin showing, and that's about as comfortable as I will get with skin showing right there. But that was a studio shoot, and we had 45 minutes, and we did 4 outfits. And that was the most I'd ever done. Now you got to do 15 outfits within an hour, but that was my first experience in a studio, and it turned out great. He actually coached me through Faces, this photographer. He's really the one who kickstarted my career as Peyton Dollar, a 20-year-old, out of all people.
Okay, now if we can, I will give you some constructive criticism. Okay,
I love it.
I see one thing wrong with that image right now.
What is it?
You got a foot and a half.
On the left
Yes,
side,
yes,
the whole shoe should be in it.
whole shoe.
I agree, because those are some good shoes. Nine West made some good shoes. I agree with that. But I really liked my facial expression.
Yeah,
in that.
yeah. Only thing wrong with that is he cut half your foot off. Everything else is great. Okay? That's the only thing I can find wrong with.
Honestly, those shoes are probably mad.
Yeah,
I'll call 9 West right now and let them know.
Yeah, I would be, yeah. But besides that, that's a great image, yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. So this was the photo shoot that I told you about earlier. My very first one that I paid for. Paid $100 to Peyton Dollar to do a senior photos for my mom, because I was too shy to do it back in high school.
Too shy.
I didn't want to be in front of a camera. I thought I was awkward and ugly at 18 years old.
That was part of being a senior in high school. You got your pictures taken.
I didn't do it. And my
Girl,
mom
what's wrong with you?
my mom would ask me the same thing actually because she has my brother and my two sisters down the hallway. And
Yeah.
she was like, Kelsey, what am I supposed to do with this space? I was like, I'm not getting pictures made. So I surprised her after I did a pageant and I wanted to do this. So I actually did the rooftop on top of my Camaro that I had whenever I was in high school.
Okay.
Because her favorite picture ever, my friend randomly snapped it. I was in front of my Camaro. So I was like, I'm going to make the same one, but nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
He took me over to this park, which is right next to Nissan Stadium. And my
Riverfront
sister,
Park.
yeah, I guess
Okay.
that's what it's called. It's right there next to, like, in the parking lot, basically, of Nissan
Got the
Stadium.
half of the roller coaster there?
I don't know.
Or the third of the roller coaster?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. I remember passing that.
Okay.
So my sister came with me and I remember Peyton said, what's your biggest concern? I was like, I don't want to look ugly. And he turns the camera and shows me this photo. And I was like, oh, my goodness. So my sister's throwing me hats, necklaces, props, all these things. And she dabbled in modeling when she was in high school, but then she was too good at sports that she stopped that. So she came with me, and I don't know if I would have gotten through this shoot without her because I was very self-conscious the whole time. Then I got the final images. Then I started sending them out, and then it got in a magazine, and I was just shocked. So
it just kept on rolling and rolling and getting bigger and bigger. And
yes. And this is the same photo shoot. Actually, the other side is where the Camaro was parked in front of the Nashville skyline. And this is actually only about halfway, maybe 1/4 the way through my fitness journey with my personal trainer.
okay.
I mean, personally, I think I still look great. My body looks good, but I spent the last year and a half past that, 5 days a week in the gym with the best personal trainer in the world. His name's Eric as well, Eric Hershey, down at Franklin Athletic Club. But I ended up doing the same photo shoot in that outfit, but 25 pounds less, and then 10 pounds more muscle. And it was completely different.
Wow.
So I really enjoyed this shoot. You can tell, honestly, by my facial expression that I wasn't that confident yet. I wasn't ready to fully smile because that was just the first one I ever did. And I was so nervous. And now that I look at them, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, where are my teeth showing? Like smile a little bit, or I don't know. I mean, I can critique them all at this point because the more training you get, you're like, why didn't I do just a little bit different? You know?
Kelsey, those are some awesome images. Thank you for sharing them with us. You have accomplished, I feel, so much in such a short period of time, whether it be by pageants or by modeling. Give the younger generation, or even those younger than you,
Okay.
just by a few years, words of wisdom.
Okay, so honestly, what I would say to anybody who wanted to start out is don't go to any photographer because safety is key. Safety is key, and I learned that from my mentor. But for one, believe in yourself. Models come all shapes, sizes, and ages, which I've realized. Don't try too hard. Don't try and be somebody you're not. And I mean, get on Pinterest, look at some pictures that you like, post them on Facebook, see if anyone wants to work with you, and start from there. And that's how I started. There's different ways to start, of course. I mean, I know a girl she's been a child model. I think she just turned 17 or 18, but she just has that natural beauty. People stop her in the shopping mall and they're like, we want you to come into our store right now. And I'm like, what about me? I'm like, what the heck? So, I mean, there's different things, but I mean, just digital networking. You can connect with so many people through social media these days because there might be models that are super shy and they can't go out and just talk to people, or you don't know where to go. Honestly, right now, I wouldn't know where to go to just find a photographer on the street, but social media gave me that tool to be able to hashtag Nashville photography. thousands, probably millions in Nashville of images come up. You go to a concept that you like, you really like their style, their lighting, go to them and just reach out. 10 times, or let's say 9 times out of 10, they're going to respond yes or no, but it's probably going to be a yes. Photographers want to build just as much as a model. So, I mean, my biggest advice is I've repeated a lot. It's just my favorite is the answer is always no unless you ask. So ask questions, ask if you can do something, walk into a boutique, ask if they need models. Sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no, but a lot of the times they'll say sure. I walked into the showroom and made a TikTok. Said, hey, can I try on 8 of your evening gowns and make this TikTok? I really wanted to make one in different styles of gowns. They ended up giving me a major discount, and I'm really great friends with the owner at this point. Her name's Kristen, and she's great. They've expanded, and I just went in there and made a TikTok, and in return, now I get gown rentals at a discounted price, or even just lets me take the gown because she trusts me with them. So, I mean, just ask questions. The worst thing that's going to happen is, oh, we don't do that, or no. So if there's something you want, like, say you want to work with Holly Ray Boutique, walk in there. They might take your picture in an outfit, and it's going to go on their Instagram. Their Instagram's going to have 55,000 followers. Someone's going to see you on there, and everything just kind of goes into a pattern. Like, it just, I don't even know how to word it. It kind of slowly rolls together into a line, really a path. And it's not just one straight line. Sometimes it's going to go crooked. You're going to have to go different pathways. But a lot of the time, it's very cut and dry. You ask, they say yes, they do it, and then post those photos. Market those photos on your social media. Be proud of yourself. Have a support system that's going to comment and like your pictures and hype you up and, tell you how great they are. No one likes a troll. If there's a troll on my page, their comment's going to get deleted because that's just rude, and we don't need negativity in our lives anyway, because we're already hard on ourselves.
But, yes.
And if there is a troll, don't listen to them. Delete the comment. Like, don't even engage back. Honestly, that's great advice, is don't engage back because that's what they want. They're sitting at home on their iPhone laying in bed eating popcorn. Like, that dress is ugly. Well, they didn't think it was ugly because I just won most photogenic in it. I remember my first troll. And it bothered me for so long until I got the advice from my mentor, LaShannon. And she was like, just delete the comment and don't think about it again. You're going to get way more negative comments than positive once you get deep into it. You can hide those. And it's not fooling anybody. It's just not letting negativity come into your page. Because it's your page. We own it. Well, technically Meta owns it and Facebook does. But they give us the power to delete it or to hide it because we don't need that. So, and don't let those people bring you down because they're sitting in bed behind a computer screen.
Awesome advice from an awesome young lady and model.
Thank you.
Kelsey Derringer, thank you for being a guest on the Model Connection podcast. It has been just a fantastic joy to just sit down with you, talk with you, and listen to your stories, your experiences in modeling and pageants. Thank you so very, very much.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me share with people. I think it's important to know that you can start from anywhere. You really can. I started at 26 years old, and it's working. I didn't start young.
And real quick, Kelsey, for the photographers that want to reach out to you, how may they contact you?
So definitely Instagram. It's going to be instagram.com/KelsDerry. So half my name, basically, KELSDERRI. Can also reach out directly on my email address, kelseyderringer@gmail.com. And I check those both, it's always in my hand. I work from my phone. As a model, you work from your phone. So that would be how to contact me, and usually get back within 48 hours and start discussing concepts. So that would be great.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Thank you for tuning into the Model Connection podcast. Please like, follow, and subscribe on social media and everywhere you get your podcast. Links are in the description. Thank you, and bye-bye.